session. But let's now talk about all of the cues that you should track as we get into this market open and all of the individual stocks that you should have on your radar as well. We have Vivek and Surbhi joining us. Nigel will also be with us in just a few minutes to take us through the trade setup this morning. Guys, a very good morning to both of you. Vivek, coming to you first, take us through what we should track, because this is a week where we have a lot of important domestic as well as global cues to track.
Well, good morning. That's absolutely right. A lot of important cues to keep an eye out for. Like you mentioned, we are looking at the handover, slightly muted handover. All the U.S. markets, ended Friday's session in the green. All of the key indices as far as U.S. were concerned ended last week with cuts. Now, talking about oil prices now are trading at a 9-month high, and that continues to remain a worry. Brent futures trading closer to the $90 a barrel mark. Now, talking about the Indian markets on Friday, as well as in the week gone by, were clear outperformers. Indian market, in fact, went up for the 6th straight session. Friday's activity was largely aided by heavyweights moving higher, Reliance, L&T, as well as HDFC Bank, all of them moved higher. Now, talking about the mid-cap index continued to roar higher. Mid-cap, small-cap index trading near lifetime highs. And in the week gone by, the key outperforming sectors, and it will be interesting to see and important to see whether this outperformance will continue. So metals, PSU stocks, especially the CPSE index, as well as oil and gas name, all of them moved higher in the week gone by. A lot of key events today. Number one, we'll be watching out for the monthly data that will be released by AMFI. Also, Rishabh Instruments list today. And also remember, Jupiter Hospitals, the IPO on last day, oversubscribed by almost 64 times. One other important key development to keep an eye out for, TVS Supply Chain would be declaring its results today. It's the latest company, that was listed on the exchanges. Like you mentioned, Asian markets, very muted start. Gift Nifty, however, is implying, a positive start for our own markets.
All right, and we're going to take that with both hands, considering we've already had such a good week, and it looks like we're going to get around a 50-point bump up at the start of the trading session. Vivek, thanks a lot for that. Let's also talk about the individual stocks that we should have on our radar. Surbhi is here to fill us in with the entire weekend's worth of action. Surbhi.
Thanks so much for that. So the first one on my radar is Reliance and Tata Group stocks, as Nvidia enters into a partnership with both those groups to bring advanced AI technology in India. Next is PVR Inox. That will also be on my radar on the back of strong opening weekend collections from the movie Jawan, and also the company opens 4-screen multiplex at Karnataka. SJVN, the company signs a power purchase agreement to develop a solar project. ICICI Bank, the company receives an RBI nod to make iProcess Services a wholly owned subsidiary. The bank currently holds 19% stake in the company. Gateway Distriparks, Sandeep Kumar Shaw resigns as the CFO of the company with effect from November 28th. And lastly, Shyam Metalics and Energy, the company announces an OFS of 5.1% stake with an option to sell another 1.19% stake. The shares are offered at a floor price of 414 rupees per share. Thank you.
All right, Surbhi, thanks a lot for getting us all of those individual stock-specific cues that we should track as well. That is, all of the action that we're looking at. Of course, like we were mentioning, Brent is over $90 a barrel, so that will be very important to watch as well. The regular oil impact, on the paint companies, aviation, and of course, ONGC Oil India is also something that we will be looking at. Like Vivek was mentioning, there's a new listing as well. So Rishabh Instruments, that is the one that we are tracking this morning. But with that, let's also now talk about all of the cues from the futures and options space. Nigel is here to fill us in with those details. Nigel, looks like the start will be in the green, but take us through what we should track.
Well, that's right. Green to start, and it was a very good trading session on Friday itself. Besides the lower FI selling that we saw, we did see about a short covering that played out, both on the Nifty as well as the Nifty Bank. What did the FIs do? Well, they added some long positions and they covered some shorts. And that takes long positioning to around 58%. Well, on the options side, there was both call as well as put buying. And even on the writing side, both calls as well as puts were written. Which brings us to the levels. We're looking at support around 19,725 odd, going by the options data. And the next level of support comes in at around the 50 DMA. We're likely to start off gap up, but we'll have to see how the day trends from there. 20,000, that's the target that the bulls have on their radar. Back to you.
All right, let's see if we can get to that 20,000 mark this week or not. Last week, like we were pointing out, was very solid, and it looks like the start today as well is going to definitely be in the green. But with that, it is time for a short break on the show. On the other side, we're going to get you all of the highlights and key takeaways from the G20 summit that took place over the weekend. Stay tuned for that.